vinyl lovers, Uncle Roddus back again, another video. The records are rolling in still. Still got a couple of Discogs orders out, and one got sent to me yesterday and they sent me the wrong record. Sent me something that ain't of much interest to me at all. Gaetano Donizetti, Deutsche Grammophon. I really don't know how they sent this to me. It's a local seller actually, and I mean he's sending me the one. I mean, okay, well I did order something of a classical variety, but completely different from this. I might play this for the wife. She likes opera. I just can't get into it at all. Anyway, so he was going to make me. He was going to. No, he wasn't going to make me. He asked me if I would send it back, and I thought, God, it's probably a 50-cent record, to be honest. I mean, you can't give that stuff away in the local shops here. I got a stat load of it that I got given, and can't get rid of it. Just in the background, this is something I have shown before earlier in the year, but it won't turn up very well on the camera, I wouldn't imagine. But if I tilt it back, you get the light. This is Death and the Maidens Wisteria album, which came out earlier this year. And the reason I'm playing this tonight is that they are playing a gig here, or in Christchurch tomorrow. I'm going into town to see them. I'm really excited about seeing them. I think that they are one of the best bands in New Zealand. I absolutely love this album. I love their first album, but I like this one even better. I've just been listening to side one lying on the couch, and when I flipped it over, I thought I might make this video. Yeah, it just confirms to me that this, I think, is the record, New Zealand record of the year so far, and that's against some pretty stiff competition, believe me. Picked this one up, another various New Zealand artist compilation, Package to Sell, from 1985 on another J-Rem Records release. Yeah, I got this arrived yesterday actually. I think, yeah, in an earlier video when I did an unpackaging, I showed a record that I'd forgotten that I'd bought, and the seller, another seller in New Zealand, had offered me the same record, and I didn't realise I'd actually bought it already off with another Discogs order. And when I got that, opened up that parcel on camera, I got a bit sort of thrown off balance by that, and realised, hey, I've already ordered this anyway. So he said, look, I've got some other New Zealand stuff for sale, and he showed me a whole bunch of photographs of stuff that he had, and he had some really, really good stuff that I would really, really like, but it's a little bit pricey. And I mean, his prices were actually really good, but still, so tempting, but because I spent so much money. But he had this one, it was a compilation, and it was the only compilation he had. Got some pretty cool bands on it, The Spines, Dreadbeat and Blood. So it's a real mix actually. Flesh Device. Yeah, really, really interesting. Actually, there's a band called Vacuum, but it's not the same Vacuum that was. Didn't notice that. What's his name? Bill Dyrene was in a band called Vacuum back in the late 70s, just at the start of the punk thing in Christchurch. He was one of the first sort of bands to start up. They weren't strictly that punky really, but they were certainly underground and alternative at the time. So anyway, yeah, so interesting compilation. And then another, I made a wee video for a group on Facebook showing all my New Zealand compilations that I've been showing in these videos, and another person made the comment about you haven't got any medium compilations, and it didn't ring a bell, and then I looked it up on Discogs, and I actually had them on my want list. And then another seller who I bought some stuff, I said, oh well, actually I've got one if you want it. And I thought, oh well, shit, yeah, I can't say no to that. Coalescence, from Medium Records. This is from must be mid 2000s. I mean, all the recordings were done around 2003, 2004, 2005. Yeah, so so there's 5 5 bands on here. It's almost more of an EP than a full album, but the tracks are quite long. Jacob I have some stuff of already, but the other ones, Kahu, Avatar, Meet a Man, and No Funeral. Yeah, none of those bands I really knew. I'd heard of Avatar. Anyway, really good post rock sort of stuff, really. You know, instrumental, or not all of it. There are vocals, I think. Yeah, this is a great compilation, and there is a sister compilation out which is a lot harder to find, and hasn't turned up. No one's offered me a copy of that. Discogs parcel arrived the other day with some bunch of records. Yep. What's this one? Sandol's Lab Technicians, New Botany. This is a New Zealand noise, experimental, droney sort of soundscape band, so not a lot of kind of actual music per se, a lot of droney sounds and weird stuff. This is actually a double album from, I think, 2016. It is, and they have quite a lot of recordings available, but there's only 2, I think, on vinyl. One from way back, like their second album or something, I think, is on vinyl, which I will hopefully get a copy of. I mean, pick this up fairly cheap, really. It's not the sort of music that's that popular with people, but pretty cool. I was familiar with a couple of, well, at least one track off it. And then also in the New Zealand, weird New Zealand music, underground music, this one here, Armpit. I can't tell you the name of the album actually. There's a bit of a collage on the back there. So anyway, Armpit were a, they are, to me, they are Dunedin's answer to perhaps the X-Men, but the X-Men had a bit more pop sensibility. I mean, the X-Men were really quite lo-fi, a lot of it was home recording, experimental, a lot happening in their music, and the X-Men are someone I'd known about for many years and only just kind of started listening to their music and picking up their records, which are mostly reissues of really old stuff, or stuff that was only ever released on cassette. The X-Men actually have a huge catalogue of recordings, but not much of it's ever been released. Yeah, so this is very home recorded, very lo-fi, but there's not quite so much pop stuff on it, pop hooks and tunes. It's kind of a bit more experimental and just kind of mucking around with stuff. Anyway, this is out of Italy from 2016, and originally it was a cassette, originally released in an edition of 3 cassettes in 1996. Yeah, so anyway, pretty cool. Again, picked it up pretty cheap. There was another record, so yeah, that one, that same order, this is Vasilisk Whirling Dervishes. Vasilisk were a Japanese band. This is a reissue. Steinklang. When was it reissued? Doesn't actually say, but only like the last 2 or 3 years. It was originally recorded in Japan and released on Eskimo Records in Japan in 1987. Now, the first side is A1 is Whirling Dervishes. It's a 22-minute track, and it's like really kind of like ambient sort of thing, like droney ambient. And it's okay, it was quite nice, but then it gets really wild on the other side. And I mean, it goes some good places. It gets really wild on the other side. I mean, there is so much happening on the other side, and the weirder it got, the better it got, and it did get pretty weird. It was really, really cool album. I'm really impressed. Only the Japanese could make something like that. This was also a reissue. Cohen de Bruyne, I think that's how you say it. Cohen de Bruyne. Here Comes Crazy Man. Here Comes a Crazy Man. this was originally released in 1974. His first LP, I think. He's also related to some other fella. Where's his name? No, I can't read it there. Belgian composer. This is out of Belgium. Belgian composer, arranger, pianist, and keyboardist. Oh, brother of celebrated singer Chris de Bruyne. No, couldn't tell you who either of them were. But anyway, so this is jazz, funky, jazz fusion type music. It's pretty cool. Yeah, I like it. Reissued on, I can't tell you. No, it's not that clear, but I'd have to look it up on my Discogs. Yeah, so originals, like the Dervishes one, the originals sort of go for 3 figures nowadays, so that's why I'm a reissue person. But this one here actually is an original, the last one I will show you. This is an original out of the UK and picked it up reasonably cheap. The Astronauts in Defence of Compassion. This is on Acid Strings and from 1989, I believe. And this is kind of a post-punky but a little bit more offbeat, weirdish in places. So I knew a few tracks off this I'd heard on a podcast that I listened to regularly, and they played a few tracks over, at least a couple I think that I recognised over the years they played. Yeah, this is their 4th album or something like that. Like I say, from 1989. Be interesting to hear some of their early stuff. First listen, I mean I was familiar with a couple of tracks and I really liked it, but it kind of got a little bit samey in places. So you know, a bit more careful listening, and we might get to appreciate it. But I'm glad I've got it. It's a good score. Yeah. And it's not New Zealand, so you know, for a change, I'm showing some non-New Zealand stuff. And I have got some more non-New Zealand stuff coming in the post. I've got a parcel of 5 records due out from Discogs, and it's taking a long time. I'm starting to get a bit worried to get here, because it's one of the earliest orders I did, and practically all the other ones have arrived. But I have got a couple of 3 New Zealand ones in the post still, and a couple of 3 non-New Zealand ones, plus this 5 LP box, which is a mix of New Zealand and non-New Zealand. So it's going to be a real mix in the next couple of videos when I do get them up. So alright, that's me again. And tomorrow night I'm going to go see Deaf and the Maiden, so I'm really excited about that. So yeah, happy hunting. See you next time.